Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. And me, Adebayo. Well, tonight on the show, we will give you a slice of archery. We'll talk about archery and what's been happening in the Nigerian circuit. We'll talk about that as we move on the show. Well, of course, the African Cup of Nations is upon us. A few days to the opening ceremony of the biennial competition to be held in Morocco. We'll talk about that. And of course, we will not forget what is happening here in the domestic scene. Of course, Nigeria's Women Football League will get our attention. We will also talk about some of the other things happening around the Nations Cup. Of course, that will be the outlook of the show for today. What is a two-man show, as you already know? My colleague, Austin Okonakman, is suited and ready as we go along on this ride.
What a greetings to you, Yemi, and our viewers from all over the world. As you know, it's always an action-packed sort of sports. I feel the fever now. The AFCON is here. 3 more days to go, and participating countries are showing us that, look, they are going there to just play, to win, and that is why I'm so confident we're going to have a competitive tournament. Morocco, by the way, they are smashing the records as regards hosting the Africa Cup of Nations, and that's the standard. That's what we want for Africa. So I hope that the next host will look at Morocco and see ways that they can improve. But shout out to the host. They're showing that, look, it's not about us getting on the pitch to play to win. We just want to let people know that football in Africa is beautiful. And I mean, this time, it's time for Africa. At Sports Tonight on your award-winning, sports-loving channels, television, we said it, that the AFCON is here. We can feel it. I know that people cannot wait to see what the countries participating in Morocco can give to us. I've called it the best football event in Africa. Yeah, arguably the best competition in Africa. It's the 35th edition. And the Super Eagles, they are going for a 4th title. Can they do it? I don't know. Let's bring in Farah Ben Gamra. She's right there in Rabat, Morocco. She's a sports journalist. Farah, good to have you join us on Sports Tonight.
Hi, Austin. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Awesome. Farah, Morocco, they said they want to give us a tournament to remember. Let me know what's going on in Rabat.
Oh, wow. You know, Morocco is fully prepared. I can tell you that with only 3 days to go and everything is going according to plan. There are no last minute surprises. Everyone is excited. And this has been brewing for a while now. The country has been ready for a while now because, this is not just a short-term vision for the country. It's actually a decades-long national development strategy, with Morocco aiming to be a hub of sports, and even globally at some point. Everyone is ready. Everyone is confident, actually, that, we have even the CAF president and the CAF secretary general saying that they're pretty confident that this will be the best ever organized AFCON, and we can feel it in the air. We just can't wait for it to start.
Record-breaking broadcast equipment, record-breaking reach, state-of-the-art media center. I cannot wait to feel it. The football, Farah, do you think is going to be record-breaking also?
Well, actually, I think it will. I think it will. This is a point of time for African sports where, it's never been better than it actually is now. We have some of the best players of the world playing for, their African teams. So I think this is going to be a pretty special tournament. I really hope, every AFCON is special and every AFCON is unique in its own way. But I can tell you that I'm sure the football and the emotions are going to be also exceptional.
Awesome. Yemi?
Let's bring the conversation to Lagos. But again, let's let you know it's 3 days to go, officially 3 days to go to the African Cup of Nations. And usually we like to ask our guests in the studio with us if They are feeling the vibe. Damilola Onifade joins us. Good to see you, Damilola. So you get to talk about the Super Eagles, but not just yet. Are you feeling the vibes 3 days ago?
Definitely, I'm definitely feeling it. I was also listening to Farah. One thing you can attest to for this AFCON is that it feels different. The boss feels different. It's one AFCON in a while. That leading up to it, we are not hearing of maybe there's still a few things that the hosts need to tweak here and there. Everything seems to look pristine. The media center is, the type for the first time we are having something of that magnitude. CAF just announced it a few hours ago. I'm feeling the buzz. Yeah, I'm tempted to talk Super Eagles, but I'm being careful. I'm feeling the buzz for the AFCON already. So many things to look forward to, and we're also going to have this AFCON. In terms of the players like Austin Hacks, we're also privileged to have an AFCON where most of our players, African players, are at the top of their game. You can reckon with most of them across the world. When you talk about Hakimi, a lot of people will tell you that's the best right back in the world. You talk about Victor Osimhen, probably one of the best strikers in the world at the moment. So loads of players are coming to this AFCON, and just can't wait. Just can't wait.
Okay. All right. So very interesting. Before I get back to us, let me just also ask you. Farah has talked about it. The level of preparation seems to be out of this world, but she also says it keys into the long-term plan. And you don't forget, Morocco is also already in World Cup mode in the next few years.
I think the beauty of what you see with this preparation is that it is not, the AFCON is not the reason why Morocco is doing some of the things they are doing. We've seen Morocco over the last few years intentionally invest in sport. I think the confidence of that is even what brought about hosting this Nations Cup. And then there is a goal, and the long-term goal is that they are co-hosting the World Cup in about 5 years from now. They are close to. So there is a long-term goal there. And she also mentioned some beyond the hosting of this Nations Cup and the AFCON, the goal is that the nation wants Morocco to be the hub for global sport at some point. And so there is an intention, there is a plan. It's not a one-off thing. It's not that after AFCON 2025 they'll start struggling to maintain those facilities, because there is a national policy for sport driving everything they are doing. And I think that has helped really. There is a lot of things that you look forward to at this AFCON. This is the first AFCON that there are record 20 deals that CAF has signed for broadcast outside of Africa. In the UK, for example, all matches of this AFCON will be beamed live to anybody that is interested in it. So lots of things are going to happen from this AFCON. I think it's going to open up the competition to a different level that we've never seen before. The last AFCON hit some major landmarks in terms of streaming, in terms of general broadcasts across the world. I think this one will probably double those numbers.
All right. Let me go to Farah. Once again, thanks for joining us, Yemi here. Okay. And my question to you is, a lot of the people that will come from all over, do you think that they will be surprised at some of the things? We're already reading about the state-of-the-art equipment, a lot of this, of this. Do you think they will be surprised, or will have a spectacle when they get to Morocco and they start seeing the facilities and seeing everything that is state-of-the-art and as good as whatever could be in any other part of the world?
Oh, yes, completely. I think everyone will be impressed. I'm in Rabat and I've seen it with my own eyes and I'm still impressed. This is just really, there has been massive work and a lot of efforts from the Royal Moroccan Football Federation and everyone working. And it's not just about the stadiums. It's not just about the training facilities. It's also, the robust transportation network. Fans will just be able to move easily. Everything is set, everything is ready. The matches will happen in 6 different cities and all the cities are ready. And it's just magical and people will love it. And there has been also a lot of additional staff everywhere in the metro stations, at airports, just everywhere. And also there have been 8 fan zones across 7 cities, and they're huge. They're like extended over tens of thousands of square meters, so people will definitely have the time of their life.
All right.
Farah, before we let you go, first African team to reach the semi-finals at the World Cup, Morocco.
Yeah.
Back-to-back WAFCON finalists, Morocco. FIFA Under-20 World Cup champions, Morocco. FIFA Arab Cup champions, Morocco.
Yes.
Morocco win this AFCON, Farah.
Look, I don't want to jinx it, but I am pretty confident. I think anything less than a win will be disappointment for the country. No pressure, but yeah, we're pretty confident. The country wants to win this, and the players are ready. They're confident, and it will be an amazing achievement for the team.
I know. Farah, thank you so much. But before you go, Moroccans, have they forgiven Nigeria for what we did to your women? Have they forgiven? We don't want to see those lasers, Farah. Are we cool now?
Everything will be forgiven if we win. It's fine.
We'll see. Continue to engage you as we count down to the AFCON and the main competition. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and good luck to the Super Eagles.
Thank you. That's a good way to live. That's it. Sports journalist right there, Rabat, Morocco, Farah Ben Gamra. Damilola Onifa, they look to just put it out there. Morocco, they are smashing the stats. Are they one of your favorites to win the 2025 AFCON?
Definitely, they are. They are definitely one of the favorites. And this is not a factor that they are hosting it. Morocco is, since the last World Cup, they've been top of the African ranking, in my view. And I also believe that you see, when you do the right investment and you develop your players the right way, you definitely will get the right result. And for me, that's it for Morocco. If Morocco should win this will be one AFCON that the host will win, and nobody will blink because they are hosting. We know that they've done the work, they've talked the talk, and they deserve to win it.
All right, Damilola, I wanted to respond to what you've just said, but I kind of disagree. But that's the story for another day.
What I disagree with?
Yeah, the fact that Morocco, a strong side, I don't see them as favorites, and everybody keep referring to the World Cup, and they forget that they were doing smash and grab at the World Cup. They come to the Nations Cup, they have no place to hide. They have to come and play. So these lesser nations will do what they did to most countries at the World Cup. That's why I feel that it might not just be easy. But they can come with a pragmatic approach and whatever. They're a good side, I do agree. Before we talk about the Super Eagles, what I wanted to ask Farah, probably you and also we just say a few seconds about that. We've seen Nations Cup. Football is not without the fans. We've seen Nations Cups where once the host country is not playing, the turnout is low. Once they are out of the tournament, it looks like, even though the matches are still going, it looks as something has been taken out. So do you see any of that replicating itself?
If Morocco gets out early, it might happen. It might happen. I wouldn't.
Okay, are you looking? Do you think we'll see full stadiums when Morocco is not playing?
The problem with that question, Yemi, is that, and that's where CAF seems to have dropped the ball, is that we don't even have an idea of how much tickets was made available, how many they've sold.
Well, so, yeah.
That's the problem. That's where you first start from.
It's a big problem.
That's the first problem, because by now we should be, before the FIFA Club World Cup, they want to just play. You can tell that by game, which game will have the highest number of fans, even before the match was played, based on the tickets. We don't even have those stats. But if we go historically from what we know in Africa, there is a chance that it might happen, particularly in the first round. I am still of the view that Africa, we do not need a 24-nation African Cup of Nations. I think the more you make it slimmer, the better you have the top matches, and then they will draw more crowd. To be honest with you, you and I can easily say that for the first match, we'll be shocked if the first match is very competitive between Morocco and Comoros. And that's why, because between Morocco and Comoros, there are two parallel lines.
Light and day.
So we'll be shocked if there is a very competitive game. And if Morocco is not the host nation, if it's Nigeria Comoros that is opening this AFCON, you can almost bet that the stadium will not be filled.
All right. Let's talk about our own Super Eagles of Nigeria, and of course, they're in Morocco, and of course, pictures are on your screen. and of course, see how they touched down right there. I was expecting to see something as colorful as the Malians, but this is not bad. A good entrance it is, and all the best to the Super Eagles. Hopefully, they'll leave all the issues behind. And Austin, the boys, like we said, the eagle has landed. So let's just hope for the best.
We have to, Yemi. Yes, they've pissed off, some number of fans lately, but this is all we've got. This is our senior men's national team. This is the Super Eagles, and when we have an opportunity to, go loud for them, in this sort of competition, we have to. I've said it time and time again, it is what you sow, you reap, because if you check the level of preparation with this AFCON, but I was just concerned about where they are mentally. Let's not act like this is not the same team just last month that protested when they were playing a major World Cup playoff. How did we handle that, And I've said it time and time again with these elite boys. They win. They don't win. They move on, So we must start finding ways to make a team that is passionate, hungry, committed. I'm not saying these guys aren't, but leadership is a vital component.
Austin, let me just butt you said something that I'm struggling to accept. I'm struggling, and you can't blame the administrators for that. You just said something, and I'm not trying to single out anybody.
Yeah.
The maybe you said the innate boys, they win is fine, they lose is fine. There's something missing. The emotional connection. Look, I grew up watching football to see guys almost weep on the field if we lose. You don't see them exchanging jerseys. Mm-hmm. I remember a particular game. Sunday Olise had to be pushing Taribo away because it seemed like Taribo was friendly towards former Liberian President George Ofonwe. Those are the things I grew up seeing. But now, look, we know the side of the administrators, and that's what I'm afraid for with this tournament. That these guys will come and say, well, whatever happens, there's no emotional connection. And I think it's a problem.
It is a problem, Yemi, and it's a problem that is, but it's not a cause. It is an effect. It's an effect. You must understand where you are coming from. Now, the players that will weep, like Ikpeba Kanu 2002 World Cup, Taribo West, understand what football means to Nigerians. Do you understand? Most of these players, I am not sure. And that's why sometimes, for example, when you go to school, one of the first things that you do is orientation. I've always said that this set of Super Eagles, wherever you're bringing them from, once they come, there must be orientation. I can almost bet that when you ask some of these players who Segun Odegba means, they don't know. And so that connection is not there. My biggest fear for this team at this AFCON is not about talent. It's about the fact that we are not going for the World Cup for the second consecutive World Cup. And I do not see the hunger or the fire in these players. And for me, that is a worry. It's like when you lose, another day will come. Yes, we know it is sport. But there is a reason why players use the word that we rather die on the field than lose this particular game. I don't see that in this team. And for me, it's a worry. I don't know how we're going to do it. But like I said, it's not a cause, it's an effect. When you...
I don't want to take you on because I know where you're going.
But you should, please.
Well, let me just quickly go across and reel out some interesting stats that our producer has put together. And I think that there are things you should know about the African Cup of Nations. Most appearances at the African Cup of Nations and the record holders are players who have played in 8 tournaments. And of course, the name, no surprise. Rigobert Song, of course, of Cameroon, 1996, 98, 2000, 2002, 2004, 2006, 2008, and 2010. Ahmed Hassan, the Pharaohs of Egypt, from 1996 to 2000, he was an ever-present figure for the Egyptians. And of course, Ghana's Andre Ayew, the son of the legend, from 2008 that he made his debut as a 17-year-old all the way to the last edition of the AFCON, and Youssef Msakni of Tunisia from 2010 down to the last edition. And if any one of them comes to this next one, they might be edging it. Most matches played at the AFCON finals, 36 matches, is for the record holders. And of course, no surprise that you have Rigobert Song and of course Andre Ayew, of course, in that one. All right, other interesting stats. The AFCON titles won as a player, 4 is the record, and no surprise that both of these players are from Egypt. Egypt dominated Africa at some period, and of course Ahmed Hassan and Essam El Adri, and it is no surprise because both of them were in that era of the Egyptian national team when they were just winning, and winning, right? In 1998, 2006, 2008, 2010. All right, most goals scored in a single AFCON tournament, 9 goals for the record holder. And of course, he is Pierre Mulamba of DR Congo. Back in those days, it was Zaire. All right, so we move on. Still other interesting stars. Most goals scored by an individual in a single AFCON match, 5 goals. That's a record, and it is held by Laurent Poku. He's from Cote d'Ivoire, and that happened in 1970. Okay, highest scoring match in AFCON history, of course, in 1963. We're on the bad side of this one. Egypt defeated Nigeria 6-3. That's the highest scoring game in the history of the AFCON. All right, so let's move on. Fastest goal ever scored at the AFCON, 23 seconds, and it was scored by Ayman Mansour in 1994. He's an Egyptian. Most goals scored in AFCON history, of course, it is 18 goals, and of course, you know who it is. Samuel Eto'o, the legend from Cameroon. Most hat-tricks at the AFCON, it is 2. And of course, it's just 2 hat-tricks. Hassan El Jazi of Egypt, that's the man with the records. And of course, you're going to be seeing more of this very, very interesting stats as we begin to get close to the AFCON. Very, very interesting. All right, so that's it. Also, we want to revisit tournaments with the highest scoring classics, and we just talked about this one earlier. It happened in 1963. Egypt beating Nigeria 6-3. Cote d'Ivoire hammering Ethiopia at the African Cup of Nations in 1970. Of course, Congo and Mali 3-2. AFCON 1972 final. Cameroon and Zaire in 1972 was 5-2. Algeria and Nigeria. I remember this game as a little boy. I almost cried. It was difficult to watch. Rashid Yekini scored in that game, but it was a hammering. And of course, if you remember, we beat them in 1998 via penalties. Very interesting game, only for them to come back to hammer us 5-1 in a tournament hosted in their country. And of course, Cameroon beating Zimbabwe at the AFCON in 2004. It was 5-3. Egypt, Cameroon, the AFCON final in 2000. This was in 2008. Beating them 4-2. There was a game. Angola and Mali. Stephen Keshi was the coach of the Malians. At that time, it ended 4-4. From 4 goals down, turned out to be 4-4. Comoros and Ghana 3-2. Remember this game not too far away. Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau 4-2. It happened at the AFCON 2023. And of course, Angola, Mauritania 3-2 also at the AFCON 2023. These are some of the moments that made us happy at previous competitions at the AFCON. All right, so very interesting stats. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on. But let me ask you this question. Your favorite moment at the AFCON? I'm just taking this off the bat. Your favorite moment at the AFCON?
My favorite moment of the AFCON, surprisingly, was not the one that gave us the trophy. Was the AFCON 2013. I think it was quarterfinal, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire. Because that was a game that, from what we heard, even the Super Eagles players, their bags have been packed, that we're not going to beat the Ivory Coast. We did Drogba, Yaya Toure at the peak of their powers, Kolo Toure, and for me, that was the game that won us that AFCON. Because the semi-final was against Mali, and then we had Burkina Faso. We made hard work of that, but the biggest game for me, the closest to it would be the final in '94. But that game, I can watch it as many times as possible. And those are the kind of match I watch. And I watch the Super Eagles today and I weep.
All right. I'm not going to say anything to that. All right. We're going to take a break. You'll see us on the other side. Just before I ask Austin his favorite moment at the AFCON so that we can leave this entirely and go. Incidentally, my most favorite moment at the AFCON, also not a final, not the game that we won that made us lift the trophy. Incidentally, also against Cote d'Ivoire. 1994, the semi-final, as a young boy just coming back from secondary school. I mean, Kili contested 2-2 and we had to win via penalties. At some point, we were behind when Samson CSL lost the penalty. Just can't. Anytime I remember the Nations Cup, that's what comes to my mind. What's Austin's moment? Favorite moment?
That was also one of my moments. But this moment of mine is not just my favorite, but most memorable. A lot of Nigerians don't like how it ended. But hey, as I think we saw the best of Nigerian football. We saw drama, suspense, passion. Ghana, Nigeria 2000. Final match, Nigeria versus Cameroon. You know, I still remember, you know, we were watching on television, you know, when they would flash that short ad, and then we came back into the net, and then like, what's going on? That game, and I will never stop saying, why did Ikpeba put his hands on his head when he didn't know what was going on? That game had everything. Only said crying, then pushing. I remember, I think when we got the first goal through Chukwundukwe, we kept pushing, we kept fighting. It was a moment, you know, and I don't think I'll ever forget Nigeria Ghana 2000. You know what I mean?
All right. We'll do more of this in the days ahead, just to relieve the moments, favorite moments at the AFCON and some of the incidents that have happened in times past. All right, let's switch gears now and come to the domestic scene and talk about the ladies. Let's talk about the matches played yesterday, midweek. There you have it, 2025-2026, the NWFL Premiership in Group A. Edo Queens defeated Adamawa Queens 2-0. Rivers Angels had a slim 1-0 victory over Ibom Angels. You have Bayelsa Queens defeated Pacesetter Queens 2-0. Niger Rattles and Heartland Queens was 2-2. He ended Shell Spurs in that one. Let's go to Group B quickly as we can. Delta Queens defeated Confluence Queens 3-1. Osun Babes played a goalless draw with Remo Stars ladies. Dana's ladies, of course, we saw that game. Our own Cecilia Omorgwe was at the stadium. Of course, we show you pictures from that game that defeated FC Robo 5-1 in what, you know, a lot of people thought was going to be a keenly contested encounter, but turned out to be a one-sided game. And of course, you also had Mudiame Queens playing goalless with Sunshine, and of course, Nassau Amazons also goalless with Abia Angels. Danila, quickly on your screen, this game. Your thoughts?
My thought was that FC Robo defeated Danas 5-1 away from home, and for me, the laughable thing was that before the game, it was the Danas coach that was boasting about how they were going to make the game competitive, and to be beating black, blue, yellow, and green at home 5-1. was quite a strange one, but it's good to see FC Robo doing so well at the start of this season.
Yeah, quick one. A little mix up on my part, but storyline still the same. Thought it was going to be keenly contested, turned out not to. But
It was FC
probably
Robo
mix
that
up the
won.
winner. Yeah, thank
it was
you.
FC Robo that won away from home 5-1. So for me, that was the game 4 of the week, and I like I was saying, I think it's good that FC Robo are doing so well. It's a club that I love so much. First, by the name. If you understand your by the name will be sound funny.
Yeah.
So, and also what the club has done. If you see some of the Super Falcons players that have gone through that, a club like that reminds you of the Midiran Babes, the Pelican Stars of the past, how they are the
production line.
The production line of our Super Falcons. Let's not touch on that today. Let's stick with the NWFL and say that for the NWFL board are doing quite a decent job. I know I was a bit hard on them last season compared to 2-3 seasons before, but I think they've revved it up a little. It can still be better.
It could be better.
It could be better, but at least this is a bit more. Particularly in terms of update of results, I still have an issue with how they delay in updating the table to publish the updated table. But in terms of results and giving you clear insight to what happened across centers within minutes, it's something to applaud.
All right. I don't know if time will allow us to take some reactions. We'll do our best to take that. But I mean, also your thoughts, on some of the games that we've shown the results.
And the way they are playing this season, they're playing with so much intent. They're playing with so much, determination. They are playing purposeful football. I think about 3 years ago, Opeyemi Ajakaye announced herself to us, and that's one player that I know will make it all the way to the Super Falcons. We talked about our production line at FC Robo they've always given to us. Opeyemi Ajakaye with a brace in that 5-1 win, and I think they can actually go all the way. Let's see. And then Edo Queens definitely got me talking, doing just enough to win by 2-0. Look, this is women's football in Nigeria. We love the competition that it brings. Let's listen to some of the talking points right after that big win from Edo Queens. Coach Osao has been, reacting. Let's listen.
It's a local derby. They know us, we know them. So all we need to do is to show the level of our supremacy, in which we showed. But, scoring is not something that we rule out. We expect that because they are a training team. They've been together for long. It's just that clubs separated us. So in this kind of capacity, expect this kind of thing. I'm even happy and joyous that we are able to score more goals. Why we make use of our chances. So I just give God the glory. It's not that they are not good. They are a good side. We just capitalize on our exploit. NWFL bend the law to accommodate 5 underage, and the underage are the ones scoring. So what I'm saying is, I did not expect to score goals, but I know the kind of material I carry. If they are given the opportunity to exploit, they will exploit, and that's what happened. Danas, they are the same like me, but I don't know. Something went wrong somewhere. Adobo carried the day.
Awesome. Coach Emmanuel Osao has done so much for women's football development in Nigeria. That man deserves a national honor, So everyone interested, in the development of women's football in Nigeria, just go sit with Coach Emmanuel Osao. I think he has done just enough. I don't know, Yami, if we've got time to take one more track or
no. Our time is up.
Unfortunately. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. We'll be back again tomorrow. But until then, in everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Yeah, it's a wrap here in Lagos as well. But I want to thank Dandalo Anifadi for his time. Many unresolved discussions. We'll take it out of the studio, but thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Let me resolve this one. Austin's favorite time at the AFCON is a game I will never watch again. That I know.
That's the show today. We hope you enjoyed it. You see us again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.